Assalamu alaikum students. Today we are going to have a second act of Waiting for Godot, and we are discussing a second important situation from this act. Let's see what it is. This is a situation where Astrajan's memory fails. So we are going to discuss Astrajan's failure of memory. Vladimir says, "Don't you remember?" Astrajan, "I don't remember anything." And then Vladimir says, "That's why, that's what annoys me." So if you see the situation, Astrajan cannot remember the events of the previous day. It's not a longer time, almost 24 years back, and he cannot recall anything. Throughout Act 2, Vladimir repeatedly tries to remind him of what happened, but Astrajan insists that he remembers nothing. This creates frustration for Vladimir and highlights one of the central problems in the play. It is the inability to establish certainty about the past. Both characters are uncertain about past. So let me explain all these three dialogue, Vladimir's 2 and Strategies 1. If you see, it is a short exchange between Vladimir and Strajan. It reveals a major difference between the two protagonists. Vladimir constantly tries to make sense of their experiences by remembering the past, while Astrajan lives almost entirely in the present moment. When Vladimir asks, "Don't you remember?" he hopes to confirm that the events of the previous day actually occurred. However, Astrajan's reply, "I don't remember anything," destroys that possibility, destroys his expectations. Astrajan's memory is so weak that he cannot recall important encounters, conversations, or experience even. Consequently, every day feels disconnected from the one before it. Vladimir becomes irritated because memory is essential for creating continuity and meaning in life. Without memory, people cannot learn from experience, develop relationships, or understand their identity. The exchange also creates uncertainty for the audience. If Astrajan cannot remember yesterday, how can anyone be sure that the events of Act 1 really happened as they appeared? Beckett deliberately blurs the boundary between reality and uncertainty. Let's talk about techniques which are used in our second situation in the Act 2. First one, you see a repetition. Don't you remember? He asked question, and I think it's not for the first time that he's asking this question. Throughout the play, Vladimir repeatedly asks questions about the past, and Astrajan repeatedly fails to remember. So this repetition emphasizes the cyclical structure of the play. There's no start, there's no end. The same questions are asked again and again, but no progress is made. This reflects the repetitive nature of human existence. Then see, here we find a minimalist dialogue. "I don't remember anything." Not a long sentence, a short answer. Beckett uses extremely simple language. The sentence is short, it is direct, and it is emotionally flat. There are no emotions at all. The simplicity makes the statement more powerful. Strajan's complete lack of memory appears both comic and disturbing. It reveals the emptiness beneath everything or everyday's conversation. Then we have another technique, that is absurdism. This line, I don't remember anything, it also shows absurdism. It is absurd, inappropriate, that a person can forget almost everything that happened the previous day. Even it includes significant events. It's not a far past. It's almost 24 hours time that he has forgotten everything. So the absurdity creates humor, but it also raises philosophical questions about knowledge, about memory, about reality. Now, characterization through dialogue is another technique. That's what annoys me. This is the important part where Vladimir responds to Strajan's answer, and his response reveals his dependence on memory and order. He wants facts, he wants explanations, he wants certainty. So that dialogue highlights the contrast between Vladimir's reflective nature and Strajan's forgetful, instinctive personality. And this nature frustrates Vladimir. He does not expect such kind of response from Strajan because he depends upon him in some other way. Fifth one is dramatic irony. The audience, we readers, or even we watch the play, the audience witness the events of Act 1 and therefore remember them, while Strajan does not. We audience know it. We audience even remember them. We audience even recall them. But how is it possible that a person who's involved in that forgets everything? So what kind of effect we have here? This creates a dramatic irony because the audience knows more than one of the central characters. It also increases the sense of frustration shared by Vladimir. We also get frustrated like Vladimir. So let's discuss the themes. Memory is the first theme that is reflected here. When he says, I don't remember anything, memory is one of the most important themes in Waiting for Godot. If you remember, we have already discussed it before going to start the play. We discussed all the themes. Strajan's inability to remember shows how fragile human memory can be and how frustrating it can be. Without memory, people cannot create a coherent narrative of their lives. Existence becomes fragmented. It becomes disconnected. Second theme is identity. Don't you remember when he says, personal identity we see depends partly on memory, not completely, but partly. People know who they are because then they remember their experience. They remember their existence. They remember the past. The Shrajan's forgetfulness threatens his sense of self. He's forgetting himself. If he cannot remember his past, his identity becomes unstable. That is dangerous. Then we have uncertainty and reality. The same sentence. I don't remember anything. Because it shows uncertainty and reality because memories cannot be trusted. Reality itself becomes uncertain. And if you see, Beckett suggests that human beings may never possess complete knowledge of their lives or the world around them. Fourth theme is, when he says, don't you remember, that is a theme of time, one of the most important themes. So memory is one way people measure the passage of time. Schraden's forgetfulness weakens that connection. Even it breaks that connection. The distinction between yesterday, today, and tomorrow becomes blurred. It reinforces the play's critical structure that is cyclical. No action is going on. So then another theme is absurdity of human existence. The conversation demonstrates how difficult it is for people to understand their own lives. Is it easy? It looks difficult here. Even basic facts about the past become uncertain, not clear, blurred. And that uncertainty reflects the absurd condition of humanity in Beckett's world. So these are the themes which are found in this situation where Estragon's memory fails, and it creates frustration. It creates uncertainty. Now, let me finish it by critically analyze it. This seemingly simple conversation carries profound philosophical implications. Estragon's failure of memory is not merely a personal weakness. It symbolizes humanity's inability to establish certainty about existence. Since memory connects past experiences to the present, its absence creates a fragmented and unstable reality. Many critics argue that Estragon represents the physical side of human nature, concerned mainly with immediate needs such as food, sleep, and comfort. Vladimir, by contrast, represents the intellectual side, psychological side, that is constantly that is constantly seeking meaning and continuity. They both are in contrast. The conversation therefore dramatizes the conflict between living in the moment and understanding the larger pattern of existence. If you see, the scene also reflects existentialist concerns. Human beings attempt to construct meaning through memory and experience, yet memory itself is unreliable. You are not trusting memory. You can rely on it. Beckett suggests that certainty is impossible and people must continue living despite their inability to fully understand themselves or the past. Ultimately, Straden's statement, I don't remember anything, is one of the clearest expressions of the play's vision of human existence. And what is it? A life marked by uncertainty, a life marked by fragmentation, a life marked by the endless struggle to find meaning in a world, the world that resists understanding, that does not want to understand. So here we finish our lecture. I hope you have understood it. I've tried my best to make you understand it in simplest way. Still, if you have any questions, you can inbox me. So, thank you for watching.